This is the best way to equip your support CTPs on your support characters so they are not overlapping during the ABX and ABL stages. Hello gang, welcome to the channel, and today we're gonna go through all 14 days ABX and ABL day by day to separate, the CTP of Insights to the CTP of Liberation. We have get CTP of Liberation in a limited amount of time, like 1 to 2 months, I think, and I haven't made a dedicated video on where to equip your liberations. But the point is here that when you have Insight and Liberation CTP, you have to manage to put them on, on supports that they are not overlapping one day of or other of ABX and ABL. So in this video, we're gonna go day by day and show you the best case scenario to equip your Insights, the supports that need the Insights, and the leads or supports that need the Liberation. And I tried to do the video myself, and I had like only one Liberation, and I was trying to figure out which is the best way to go. But yeah, it was needed too much work, and there are already people have dropped these lists, have dropped the best the best in slot to equip your CTPs. So I asked a dude that has his own YouTube channel to share his knowledge and send me what he is sharing through his channel. And this is LA SWAT. You can go and check his his YouTube. It's LA SWAT MFF. If you don't press MFF, you're gonna see the actual LA SWAT, I guess. But let me show you. Yeah, this is his channel. He is really legit player. I have talked to him through Discord, and generally he's a cool guy. He drops ABX, ABL tutorials mostly, but he is a really good player, and I really trust him. So that's why I actually copy paste his list, asking him about, and I want to represent you like a legit way to use your CTPs and don't do any mistake, and you have to unequip and all this stuff. So let's go. Thank you, LA SWAT, by the way, and let's go into the first day of ABX and how this CTP should be equipped. So this is gonna be the way that this is gonna work. We're gonna include the main DPS as the part of the team, and I'm gonna drop the CTP of Insight or Liberation below the character that you should equip to get the maximum out of them. Of course, guys, you need to understand that all these suggestions are depending on having the maximum account, and you want to get the maximum out of your account, but also depending on sometimes on your personal gameplay, what characters you're going to pick. So I'm gonna give you some alternatives, but you need to think your own for yourself. Like if you don't have Liberation and you have an Insight, and you don't have Liberation at all, perhaps you should equip Insight on other character, etc, etc. I'm not thinking for you, I'm just telling you the general truth, where is the best way to equip these CTPs. So let's start from day one, and we're gonna go day one ABX, day one ABL, etc, etc. So before we go through that, guys, make sure that you have smashed the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit me down below in the comments what you think it's weird, you think I should change on the list, and how many liberations do you have yourself. I'm really curious about that, because I have managed to have only one from the event. And yes, perhaps on Black Friday I pick up some, if they include this on bingo actually. And something before we start, you need to understand that the CTP of Insight has no problem being normal. The buff you're getting, it's really cool, and you need to go for the 20% damage against villain and 20% damage against hero. The other stats doesn't really matter. If it is mighty, you want to get the damage against boss, but still doesn't really need to be mighty. From the other side, the Liberation need to be mighty to get the maximum out of it. The normal Liberation does not, give you a lot, and only having a mighty Liberation, you're gonna see a really big difference in your score daily. So let's start from somewhere, and for this day of ABX, Magneto still the number one. You can pick also Doctor Strange, Magneto, it's still the number one. The support you should use here, it's Mysterio and Enchantress. And this is the way you should put the insight and the liberation also. You're gonna see that if you go vice versa and you put insight on your Mysterio, you're gonna end up having 2 insights on other days that you have to run, like with Cyclops and stuff like that. That's why this list is to make your life easier, no need to think for yourself, and just drop CTPs on specific supports. For the main damage dealer, Doctor Strange and Magneto, both of them need to have a raids, and all the damage dealers need to have a raids as the best CTP. So that's why I'm not even mentioning anything else about the damage dealer. This is day 1 ABX. Let's go day 1 ABL. Fast forward this. For day 1 ABL, you need to consider that I'm telling you about Luna. If you use, other characters like Gwenpool, you should equip or have equipped on other characters. I'm just telling you about Luna. And here, yes, Liberation is the best to go for. Fox. Somehow I need to unequip my Fox also. I need to unequip a lot of CTPs actually after seeing this guide and realizing that also, it's legit and this way works better. I need to do a lot of changes. Probably I'm gonna buy out a pack for $8, when they're gonna have available, just to swap my insights and get some liberation myself. But yeah, this is the way to go for. Misty Knight still provides the best lead for Luna Snow. A lot of players using also Shuri, so instead of here you could also use Shuri. Let's go day 2. On day 2 is the no restriction day, which is Luna Snow lead, Coulson and Fox, the best team until now. Now after releasing the cap, you can figure out yourself, you can produce more damage with characters like I've seen people doing miracles with your Jean Grey. I've seen people doing a lot of with Loki. There is a lot of others you could use. Luna is the best scorer for me, at least. Magneto also has really good chances, but this is the best team. I managed to maintain, more than 18 million every single time. So you can see here inside with Coulson are not overlapping, and this is like cool stuff. And let's go for day 2 ABL. For ABL, Doctor Strange feels to be the best to go for, and after a bit behind comes Magneto. Both of the characters same. Using the same support, so Cyclops with villain uniform and Mysterio with the uniform he has, from the seasonal, the summer one. And as you can see here, Liberation to Mysterio and Insight for Cyclops. Let's go into the next one. Round 3 is Universal Hero, and here the best lead is Ronan. You need to consider having for both of the characters their artifacts, Satana and Ronan. And lead of Ronan is the best for, even if you have Wanda's lead, this 5% feels to be the best way. And Ronan with Satana are the best characters to use here for your Wanda. Ronan having the insight and Satana having the liberation. Round 3 of ABL is also the no restriction day, and here is even more important to understand that the team I'm showing you right now is Luna, and what makes me feel plays comfortable, with Loki, and a really, really good team on Loki, like having Black Cat, leadership and Scene as a support, you can end up having better score. And there is other characters that you can end up having better score, like Doctor Strange in some cases, Wanda. But for me, Luna still, this is the best team for the no restriction. So you need to plan for yourself, and yeah, do not get this team as the best, because it is for me. But yeah, let's go into the round 4. For round 4, you need to consider something that I didn't mention yet, but I want to let you know about the best strikers in the game right now. And the best strikers in the game right now, it's for ABL Ghost Rider, for all characters, all seasons. There are ways to go and cancel with other characters, but Ghost Rider is always the best. Even if you miss the canceling on the roar, you don't want to go and sacrifice the striking of Ghost Rider to have another tier 4 striker to get the extra effect, but you prefer to swap into a character that you have as a support and have this effect. But for ABX specifically, the best striker, except Black Widow having only a Brilliant Energy, which is the number 1 for ABX specific. The very next is Ghost Rider. And after that, you need to consider swapping to a tier 4 striker that have the effect that you're missing, like here with Gladiator. My Gladiator here does not have the silence, and for this specific season, the best character to use for Gladiator striker is Psylocke instead of Ghost Rider or anyone else. There are options like Luna Snow also can do the silence, but Psylocke is the best to go for specifically for Gladiator here, because they have the same instinct, and also Psylocke hits harder as a striker than Luna. So you use Gladiator's lead here, as you can see, and the inside goes for Mubaku. If you have his artifact, especially, you know, he is way better than Sif, or else Valkyr. Both of them needs to have, you know, their artifact, but if you don't have the artifacts, I feel like they are still the best way to go. Perhaps Sif can go, you know, close to Mubaku, but if Mubaku has his artifact, he's way better always, and you give him an insight, as you can see here, and the liberation for Valkyr. So let's go into ABL on round 4. Round 4 is with Wanda. Wanda leadership, Satana is the best support to go for a liberation, and your Morgan is the best to go for your insight. At the end of the video, actually, I'm gonna round up how many how many stages of each of them, of each of support have, and I'm gonna drop you, a list how many times you're using each of the support, so you can see what's the most value for you. Except Wanda, which is the number 1 and the easiest to score high. Here you can swap with Jean Grey, and swapping Jean with Wanda means that you use Satana lead. But yes, feels like Wanda is way easier to go, a way to go. Of course, there are other supports that you can take advantage, like Proxima and Angela for Jean, Proxima, and for Angela for Wanda, in case you're missing one of these two. But this is the best team to go, and this is the best way to equip your CTPs. Round 5. Round 5 is about Blast Mail, and here you can use also heroes, and you can take advantage of Cold Zone instead of Cyclops or Enchantress, where you can use on the villain Blast. But here exactly the same thing, Insight for Cold Zone and Liberation for your Mysterio. If you use Magneto or Doctor Strange, the difference is not that big, but feels like Magneto it's still the number 1 for the ABX if you play perfectly. For me, I play Doctor Strange, I prefer him, I unequip Magnetos, but yes, if you play perfectly, your Ghost Rider, your Doctor Strange, it's gonna be behind your Magneto. Let's see about ABL. And this ABL, it's exactly the same with the ABL was before, so still you're using Insight with Misty Knight lead, and Fox gets Liberation from here. So yeah, you don't need to equip any news. Luna is the absolute number 1 character here to use, and Gwenpool, in my mind, it's the second best. Round 6 is about Villain and Universal, and this day used to be the best, the character that used to be the best to go for was Jean Grey, but lately Loki, after we explore more his rotation and figuring out that letting his tier 3 place a bit helps way more than just keeping the tier 3, feels like our boy Loki is back in the ABX meta too, and he is better than Jean Grey. Even if you have Jean Grey, the same team is exactly the team that you should use, and the CTPs that you should, the way your Liberation and Insight should be is like that. Morgan gets this and Proxima gets the other. If you leave, if you miss any of the character above, this, if you probably, if it's gonna miss Morgan, then you only have the option to equip it on someone like Thanos or a lead that can help you get more out of this situation here, because these two supports are the only available here. For ABL in round 6, still Dr. Octopus is the best to go for, and the best lead and support to use is Taskmaster and Abomination. Be careful, you don't have, you need not to have equipped actually the last uniform he took, or else he's gonna give damage only to zombie characters, sure, or you can not take advantage of his output with Dr. Octopus. But in my case, what I'm using is this thing here. I don't have the insight on my Hulk, but with this way, as you can see here, you can take advantage also from Hulk. Hulk is a bit behind Dr. Octopus. It's not a huge difference, but here is the only thing that I need. I feel like I can't fix the insight and liberation to fit perfectly. If you use Hulk, I would suggest you to go, you know, vice versa the CTPs here, and go liberation on abomination and insight on your taskmaster, because otherwise you're gonna have both your abomination and your Mubaku on the other day. They're gonna both have insight and not liberation and you know, insight. So depending on what characters are you using, Hulk or Dr. Octopus, you should consider equipping different insight and liberation on this specific day. Let's go into round 7. Round 7, again Luna Snow, yes, you guessed it right, and again you should equip, no, this is wrong, this is not wrong, yeah, I'm swapping them over and over, so yeah, this is the right way, the way I had it before. I know, because I need to swap my CTP, I need to swap my Fox from, you know, insight to liberation. So yeah, this is the proper way to go for this. And even if feels like, you know, Nick Fury or Shuri can give you bigger numbers, believe me, you know, huge amount of people have tested. Misty is still the best to go. Perhaps if you have like Nick Fury 6-star artifact or something, but still, yeah, if others do that, I believe them, and I don't wanna say that you should use Nick Fury instead or something. So let's go ABL. For ABL round 7, the best way to go, it's actually Hero Blast. So here you can also take advantage of the male characters like Cable, and Cable is still the #1 here on ABL. He's threading through content. An alternative that it's close, Psylocke is the option that you can go Psylocke on this day, and the other day of ABL that you need to consider that you can only use females, and you can go double dip with her, you know, Psylocke. But Cable still the #1 for this specific, and this is the best team to go for Cable and how to equip your insights and you know, and your liberation. If you want to use, you know, from the other side, if you want to use Psylocke, the team is kind of different, and let me show you that for Psylocke, I use a team like that. I use Psylocke as lead and Storm as support. Storm or Polaris are really close, but Storm is the best to go for if you have, you know, the insight now, you're putting it on your Storm, and liberation stays on your you know, on your Dazzler. But yes, Cable still the #1 for this specific day. He's doing 1 million more, 1 more million than for me at least. No, at least the maximum I have done is 1 million plus than my Psylocke score. Puh, I can't talk these days somehow. So let's go round 8 and ABX. So in round 8 we have the same situation that I was telling you about before. If you use, you know, Dr. Octopus or Dr. Hulk, the way you should have equipped your CTPs is different, but for all cases, Bullseye lead is the best to go for. And I did a video a couple of days ago for Abomination where I saw you that the runs I did with Hulk and him as lead or Hulk's lead and Taskmaster, and he is better than Taskmaster for Hulk, Bullseye's lead. It's really weird because, you know, you're seeing here 50% ignore dodge and you say, you know what, this is nothing, but it seems like it's really important on ABX specifically, and that's why you even have to give him a liberation. In case you want to use your Hulk, the team is different, and that's why I told you you want his last uniform. If you have his Hulk, you know, he's getting a big advantage from it. Not big, but he get an advantage. So you're not using Taskmaster here, you're using Bullseye Lead and him. A lot of people is using this team, but feels like at the end of the day, if you manage to go, you know, at the maximum capacity of your gameplay and you have everything perfect, this is the best way to go. The difference, it's not that huge, but 300 to 400k, it's equal to the difference that you're getting equipping an Insight or a Liberation. So yeah, we're talking about min-max here. And for Hulk is this team, the previous team is for Abomination, and I'm showcasing both of them because in some cases people feels like Hulk is the best to use for this week, not Dr. Octopus, but you know, more people have Dr. Octopus maxed out. That's why most of the people still using only Dr. Octopus and do not swap into Hulk just for this one day. Let's go into round 8 of ABL. Round 8 of ABL, it's exactly the same as its multiple other days, so you need to consider how, you know, important it is having the CTPs on these specific characters, and Misty, Fox, Luna as always. Round 9. For round 9, it's exactly the same as the other no restriction I saw you already, and everything, it's exactly the same, you know, perhaps Magneto scores more than you, perhaps other characters, so figure out yourself. This is my team and the best team for me. Let's go into the ABL already. For this specific ABL day, you need to use leadership of Gladiator. There is no Ronan on the team because Ronan gives you only from his support, you know, from his artifact. The buffs he's giving you, it's only for universal. So better ABL is the best to go for, and the way to equip the CTPs here, it's Liberation on better ABL and also Insight on your Yondu. However, for this specific day, you could go, you know, either way, use Liberation on Yondu or the Insight, or, you know, swapping them, because there is a specific thing. Better ABL if in your account is tier 4 and having a CTP of energy or a CTP of judgment or a CTP of destruction or something with a proc on it, or, you know, something, whatever. Not raid, the rest are giving you perhaps the same result. Then you can use him with a CTP to do damage, because he is also assisting on your Gladiator, and the more damage you're producing with your better ABL as a striker for him, the more you're gonna get. So the hits he's doing with proc is perhaps more than the buff you're getting from Insight and Liberation in some cases, but that means that you have a really stacked better ABL tier 4, and this happens, you know, only on some really unique days that you need to use 2 tier 4s like Psylocke Storm. If you have a brilliant rage on your Storm, perhaps you don't need to equip an Insight or a Liberation to help your Psylocke do damage, but still their Storm is not striking that much as better ABL is striking for Gladiator. So with better ABL, perhaps you're gonna get more depending on the build you have, just using him with a proc like an energy, destruction or judgment. But still, this is the #1 team as you're seeing here. Nothing changed lately. On round 10, you need to use female universal, and the best still is Wanda here. The second best is Captain Marvel, but it's way worse. And you're using here Satana support and Angela as support. Satana Liberation, Angela with an Insight. If you're gonna use, Captain Marvel, you don't wanna use Satana, because Satana gives you only elemental damage. So if you use Captain Marvel, you should consider Fire Level to go for. But Wanda is way better than Captain Marvel, you know, no doubt, more than 1 million difference, easy peasy. And guess who is at round 10 of ABL? Luna again. But yes, as I told you, no restriction day. So if you feel comfortable playing with Loki, go for Loki. Use Black Cat and Scene or something similar to get the maximum out of him. No doubt he is scoring more than Luna generally. but he's really annoying to play and go to max score with him for sure. Round 11, it's female villain, and here you're getting advantage of the perfect team of Black Cat and Sin. It's the team for no restriction days if you're using villain also, and only if your character you're using having a leadership, you should consider swapping into anything else. Of course, you need to consider that Black Cat and Sin needs to have their artifact to give you the maximum out of their performance, or else, you know, other characters are equal or close. The difference, you know, it's close. Like as you can see here, there is Morgan, there is Enchantress, but yeah, if you have the artifacts, these are better, and at least I guess 4-star or something. Jean Grey is the number 1 to go here, but also second, and not with a huge difference, is Gwenpool. In my mind, she's still you know, a really good replacement if you're missing Jean. But I saw a picture of Jean Grey of Masihmi here in my Discord doing 19.5. So Jean Grey can score close to 20 million with a really good player, you know, and a really busted build. But yes, I struggled to do 18 million with my gameplay and team up. So yeah, you need to consider yourself being closer to me, I guess, than the top 10 players of this game. But yeah, it is what it is. Let's go to round 11 of ABL now. It's the team I was telling you before, and Psylocke's lead helps you to start with a charged, mighty or brilliant raids, but also having someone like Storm with a good build and a CTP of Insight, or a brilliant CTP of Energy or brilliant CTP of Judgment, or whatever you have. You know, if you have your tier 4, you can max here out and go there. If you're missing Storm, you should consider going for Polaris. Polaris also provides a solid lead and a solid support, so I would put here as lead Polaris, and Psylocke, you know, as a third character, not lead. But yes, this is the best score I've ever pulled with Psylocke. 13.6, 13.7 is my best, I think. I've seen people doing 15, I've seen people doing 14 point something. Masakmi here, I think, did close to 16 million. Yeah, he's crazy. So yeah, she is able to cap with this team. Polaris, it's really close. This is the best way to go for your Insight and Liberation. Round 12. Round 12 of ABX. Yes, you guessed it right. Exactly the same team, exactly the way to equip the CTPs. And let's go ABL. So this is the day that I hope after we get Null. As you can see, Null is here. It's gonna change and we're gonna have his lead here instead of having Loki. But yeah, at the moment Loki is the number 1, with Farmer Thanos being second. But this way of team, you know, Proxima and Enchantress, these two characters are striking for your Loki, so you should consider doing that, or else you're gonna have trouble maintains your DPS and your plan on holding, you know, all the additional units into the center and do the rotation after to maximize your 5th skill passive damage ability. So as you can see here, fits with the previous. There is not crossover on the CTPs. Perfect way to go this team, and I hope we get now sooner or later, but yeah. Okay, let's go to round 13. Round 13 of ABX, it's the only round in the game that there is no tier 4 character that performs the best at the others. There are tier 4 characters here that you can go and get, you know, like X-23 or Captain America female, but both of them are old uniforms, and still Hope is the number 1 to do the damage. Sif's lead, Valkyr as a support, Sif's with Insight, Valkyr with Liberation. And yes, let's hope that Crescent, no, I hate Crescent, guys, for some reason. I don't like her and feels like she's gonna get a tier 4. I don't wanna see this shit. Oh my god, we need a legit tier 4 female combat, guys. Come on, developers, drop something juicy. We need something nice, not Crescent, this bear girl, whatever, chimichangas. Okay, let's go to ABL. So for this day, you still want to use your Loki, but now it's male, so you can't get advantage of both female that you were using before. Now you need to use Ronan lead, and he has the passive for all universal characters, and he also can give you advantage with his artifact. So for your Ronan, you want to use Insight, and for Ghost Panther, which is the second best character to use for this day, there fits the Liberation, but to be honest, I would not suggest you to go and equip a Liberation. If you have an extra mighty Liberation and you have already equipped to someone like Better A Bill, you know, you can use Better A Bill instead of your Ghost Panther and save one extra Liberation, you know. But yes, this is supposed to be the best team to use. And on this one, because these characters are not striking a lot for Loki, doesn't really matter, but you should go and close it still. Feels more comfortable, you know, not having the other characters dropping skills from nowhere. So yeah, play safe with Loki. Hope he gets replaced from my boy now, but yeah, okay, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. And yes, it's true, we are at round 14. Finally, I'm gonna stop talking, guys. Yes, you're lucky, you're lucky. And in this case here, we want to use exactly the same team. Black Cat Scene, it's the same team, and Gwenpool is our DPS, the only tier 4 that you can actually use here. There is also Wonk, but Wonk is so wonk on damage and does not do anything close to Gwenpool. Gwenpool is the #1 free-to-play character to use as a female speed for ABL days. Also, I mentioned it earlier, but you need to consider that even if you have the rest of the characters and you miss like Jean, you can play with her on the other day. But here is the day that she is the #1, no doubt. This is the way how to put your Insight and Liberation as well. And finally, it's the ABL round 14. And it's combat male human, as you can see here. It's obvious. And yes, this is the best lead to go. Mubaku, with his lead and support, he provides the best for Dr. Octopus. Dr. Octopus is the best to go for this specific stage. And if you don't have Dr. Octopus built and you want to use Hulk, the team is way different. You don't want to use this lead. You don't want to use this lead of Abomination, but you want to use Hulk's lead and start with him. And then you have your Mubaku and your Abomination with different CTPs there. That's why I told you that here you should equip different if you're using different characters, because in this specific you end up needing the Liberation on him and the Mubaku having the Insight. But if you play like Dr. Octopus, with Dr. Octopus, which is the best, you should use the first way I saw you to equip the CTPs. So it was really long, as it seems, 32 minutes, almost 33. Perhaps more after the intro. Yeah, oh my god, yeah, sorry for being so late on this, you know. I didn't want to be that big. I was like, I'm gonna drop info really fast, but end up being huge. And let me show you the final thing I wanted. These are the final results, you know, on how many times do you use each of the characters. So you need to consider, you know, equipping the best mighty CTP you have, or Brilliant, Insight, or Liberation. First, you know, with White Fox. Second, with Satana or Taskmaster. Taskmaster and Abomination, you know, depending on which of the characters you are using, etc, etc, etc. So I hope I helped you decide how you're gonna equip your CTPs. So you all the meta teams, so you know what to build next. Hope you enjoyed. It was big. Thank you again, LA SWAT. See you into the next. Kisses in your faces.